So Data3 was founded back in 1977, so 47 years ago now. Sort of evolved quite a lot over the many years that we've been in business.
It's a great story to tell. I love the fact that we can talk about we've come from a garage selling typewriters to where we are today, and I think that's something we should all be really proud of, and I'm definitely proud of. When I go to the barbecues on the weekend, I talk about my joy of working for a company who has gone from, from the grassroots to where we are today as a Queensland company.
Yeah, I'm Terry Powell. I'm one of the co-founders of Data3 with Graham Clark, going back a little way to 1977. We'd worked at IBM both 10 years prior to that, and we both knew each other, and Graham was a highly respected senior programmer at IBM in those days. And when I left IBM, I went out into the cold world, and it was not very technically strong, and I gave Graham a ring.
We started off in a brand new business. We don't overlap much, okay? Terry's good with people. I just like to work, okay?
I guess I had ideas, but Graham knew how to put them into practice. So that was great help to me, because I'd sort of call on a customer and think, well, this is totally new. What can we do for them? But Graham knew how to actually deliver the solution, which was very good. The IBM had just announced a range of very small computers, standalone computers in those days, and there was a lack of software. Today, there's an app for everything, but in those days, there wasn't any software around, and Graham was probably one of the leading experts in Australia in building software. So we had the opportunity then to get together and go out and deliver software to clients. So that's how it all started, as Powell Clark. We flipped a coin. It could have been Clark Powell, but we flipped a coin and came down Powell Clark. Yes. We were in the hills at Jindalee in Graham's garage.
That's the rumour. That was my garage, but I worked at home because there was no computer connectivity available to us, and so I was doing it on sheets of paper. Terry used to drop in every morning, and I'd give him the sheets for the day before, and he'd come back that night with punch cards, and this is how it was done at that time.
But we had a variety of clients, and then it emerged that there was a similarity, despite whether it was a law firm or a hospital or a manufacturer, there was a certain similarity about how the systems could be delivered, and that's where Graham came into his own, because he was very good at just cloning something we'd already done for another business. So we then developed specialties in various industries, one of which was in the healthcare field, servicing hospitals, and we went from there.
So we got into the business of selling software that was reusable. You were replacing things that they did using people to things that they could rely on a computer to do.
But as the industry changed, the evolution of the personal computers, networking, etc., started to change completely the way companies did business.
The challenge we had was that for us to get people who could come into the business and help us to manage it, we basically had to sell equity in the business. And so at that stage, that was the way we managed to get staff, which is, again, one of the advantages we had when we merged with Allbrand Typewriters.
Data was synonymous with the IT industry and computing, and the #3, we had 3 operating divisions that we formed. So that was one side of it, and the other was that IBM is the leading computer vendor in the world by far. At the time, their keyboard had a hash and a 3 on it on the top, so we thought, well, they were our primary supplier at that time, so we thought we'll incorporate that into the name. So that's where it came from.
We want to be seen to be a long-term stable company, a la Data, but we want to seem to be innovative and breaking down new walls, which is the #3. And that significance was really important.
We didn't have the foresight to realise that the hash was not a very friendly symbol in the internet world, but anyway, that was back in '84.
Remember throwing yourself back to the 80s. I mean, I don't even think we had a fax machine. Things were, not that developed. The mini computer was very much had taken off. The PC then allowed people to get more access to more data without having to stand in the queue at the big data processing centre.
We rode the technology wave, really. Then the PC just went bang. You know, it just exploded. And when that happened, we just went with it, you know, and networking became the thing, then connecting these PCs, the internet became the thing, and we were what we call fast followers. And I think that's really a critical sort of capability of this business, where we were very, very rarely putting ourselves out there and being burnt by early technologies, but we were very fast followers of technologies that our customers were adopting. We moved from being a software organisation who provided solutions that we hand-carved for customers through to being a reseller of world's best technology and a provider of services that supported customers using that technology. And that led to the explosion in opportunity for Data3 and really the huge growth that it went through from a revenue point of view as well.
I remember we went away on a planning session in 1986. I remember being excited and coming back to tell a friend of mine. I said, you know, guess what? We're going to be a $400 million company in another 6 years. He said, you're dreaming. This is not going to happen. But to sit back and say that, you know, we're hitting those revenues approaching the $3 billion mark is terrific. We did make it happen, but only with careful plans.
And so we were quite determined to have a successful business. And that was always the aim. So we just kept going, whatever the obstacles were, with that in mind.
It's been a fantastic journey in terms of being listed on the stock exchange in 1997 and then expanding nationally from that Brisbane-based organisation and having the ability to, I guess, win some of those large contracts that we never thought we'd even have the ability to even bid for. So, for example, the federal government Microsoft agreement, which is hundreds of millions of dollars a year, they choose us because of our skills and our expertise. So seeing the business just grow into being able to manage some of those contracts has been fantastic. The setting up of the offices, I remember flying over to Perth and Adelaide, setting up in upstairs in a pub for a couple of weeks because we didn't have an office until we could set up an office. Luckily they washed the floors out because it was a little bit sticky. There's some great memories there, setting up the Canberra office and Tasmania and Suva, for example. So we have 9 offices now and 3 integration centres on top of that. So some of those milestones, I guess, have been naturally related to some of the contracts that we have won over time. So federal, state and local government are some of our largest customers, as well as large corporates, but then also down to schools. So making school environments secure for the students, hospital environments, increasing the connectivity within the hospitals. Fiona Stanley Hospital in Perth, which was a massive multi-million-dollar Cisco networking contract. Universities, the stadiums, milestones are endless, really, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So we're really are working with our customers on the digital transformation journeys. So our vision statement is to harness the power of people and technology for a better future. And we really try and live that vision. You know, when we talk about people, it's not just Data3's people. We have 1,400 staff now, but it's also the people of our customers, our vendors, and the broader community. And then when we combine our people initiatives with the technology from world-leading vendors, and when we talk about those, we talk about Microsoft and Cisco and HP, and by combining those people and the technology, it really allows us to provide integrated solutions to our customers.
And on top of that, we have our core values, which is really, that's called HEART, which stands for honesty, excellence, agility, respect and teamwork. And that's how we go about the way we do our business every day, both internally towards each other, but also with our customers as well.
Really proud of the fact that we actually live the values like they're real. Yeah, they're on a wall, but they're real. And I think that lived culture has created real longevity in the business.
I think you can say today that if Data3's got a competitive advantage, I think one of its competitive advantages is its people. It's got a lot of skills, obviously, but the people are a major driver.
I think we won something like 18 awards last year across the industry for our people and from our technology solution providers. And the reason why they mean so much is that we invest so much into our teams. We have something like 2,500 certifications across about 500 or 600 staff. So you can just see how technically certified our staff are in terms of being able to provide the solutions to our customers.
I think if we didn't have great people, we wouldn't have our business. I absolutely love this company and passionate about what we do, passionate about our people. We have a great culture, and I think that's evident through the tenure of our people. So our average tenure is 5.7 years and our average age is 42 years of age. So I think it goes to show you the calibre of people we have, but also opportunities. I think Brad, he started as an account executive, I started as a recruitment specialist, but people have the opportunity to move and grow through the ranks. We've had people start in the warehouse who are now moved into like services and general management positions. So training and development is key. We're lucky in our business is about 35% female representation, and something we're really focused on. I think for IT that's great. It's above industry average. I think we're all really proud of that, and I think that goes a long way apart from our customers and our community as well. I think that the people are that underpinning culture that we have as Data 3.
Our team are really proud about the innovation aspects in terms of pushing the envelope in terms of what's new, what's better, and how we can improve on the business as usual approach and innovating those solutions to provide better value for our customers. So the innovation, I guess, theme and mentality of our team is really what helps sets our team apart. I would say that we're a close adopter, close follower. Those vendor relationships that we spoke about before, we've had the benefit of sitting on those partner advisory councils. They can provide us, I guess, early information about what they were planning. And a recent example is ChatGPT with the generative AI, and then Microsoft released their Copilot version, as they call it. And Data 3 was able to get onto the early adopter program for that. So in Australia, it was only released to a very small number of customers and one partner, which was Data 3. So we were able to get early access to that technology, understand the use cases and the benefit it could provide, and before the product was even released. So it's been great to take that knowledge early to our customers.
I think that's why we've been so successful over so many years. If you think the business has been around for 47 years, we have adapted or made the changes which have been needed to keep up with technology. Some of the competitors haven't stayed around. They no longer exist, the ones we had back in the beginning of the business, because they have stayed in their lane, but we've always moved with technology. And I think that's enabled us to continue to meet our customers where they're at with the technology, if I put that in layman's terms.
Absolutely.
The tenacity of this business to see itself through tough times and learn and adapt and change and grow again is remarkable. It's remarkable. And culturally, the business just doesn't give up. And I think in life, one of the big things you can do is just not give up.
So our contribution to businesses in Queensland, I guess, is a little understated in some ways. We take it for granted, but it's great to be a Brisbane-based and Queensland-based organisation when we're working with the Queensland government as well on different initiatives such as building a new hospital, or some recent initiatives with Opera Queensland, where we partnered with Cisco to provide the opera in the bush and the connectivity. And if you think about the regions in terms of the schools, the hospitals, the police departments, for example, we quite often have different road shows which bring people together to look at the latest and greatest in technology. Those sorts of initiatives in Queensland are pretty rewarding.
So I think we're always doing a lot to sort of give back through obviously our charities and commitments with our Lifeline, Starlight Foundation, some of the local charities as well.
The other milestone for me really is we recently entered the ASX 200, being the top 200 stocks in Australia. And just the fact that we've created employment for, on average now, about 1,500 people, that's a lot of jobs. And that's right across Australia. So that's a good feeling to have created that.
I do think to grow a business in Queensland, you've actually got to work with customers to do as much as you possibly can with them. So I think there's a respect in that you have for the customer. That difference between that, which is what has been the roots of Data 3, to I've got a product to sell, do you want to buy it? I think when you get in the bigger markets in Sydney particularly and in Melbourne, it's very much this is the attitude. And I think this attitude here, which we've, as I said, permeated right now through all of our operations, has been very good at allowing us to grow in the territories outside of Queensland because customers aren't actually used to it. It's a nice way to do business if you're a customer.
So Data3's vision, as we mentioned before, is to harness the power of people and technology for a better future. And with so much opportunity with our customers to continue to improve their business outcomes. And so the vision for us just remains the same. So I think if we can continue to enable our customer success, improve the outcomes for their staff, for their customers, and for the community, then we'll be happy that we've achieved our vision.
I'm most proud of where the business has got to. When we think about some of the issues we went through in the early days and how we've fought through all those years, the marketplace we're operating on changed continually. And so therefore the need for flexibility was there. And so there was a requirement for changing, your attitudes, reworking your skills and just continuing on.
Well, Graham started in the cloud because the cloud in the old days, back in the 1970s and the 1960s, was a thing called a service bureau, where an organisation sent all its data into this cloud and got the results back the next day. So Graham and I often say we started in the cloud and we finished in the cloud.